over 35% down in real estate prices right now in the August 2022 market. What in the world is happening with the real estate market right now? Well, is it a crash or is it just a market adjustment? Let's give you guys some clarification on what's really happening in the real estate market and where these people are getting their numbers and their sectors from. So, hey everybody, my name is Jerome Maldonado. I've been developing and redeveloping real estate for over 25 plus years. And I wanted to sit here and tell you guys that one of the biggest things that we do is we dissect real estate markets. And because of part of our real estate educational program, one of the things that we always do is we try to make sense of everything nationwide in subsector markets and in also mainstream markets. Las Vegas, Nevada being a mainstream market. So if you go back in, you look at Las Vegas, Nevada, and you sit back and go, oh my God, 35% down. Where in the world are they getting these numbers? I have a buddy that lives in Las Vegas, and he said, Jerome, stuff in my neighborhood is still going up in value. And so I'll tell you guys, what's up, Dennis? How you doing, brother? So I'll tell you guys that you got to be real careful what you listen to and how you listen to it right now. Because yes, we're in a recession. You know, we've had 2 negative quarters of negative GDP, and now it's on the forefront in the bricks that labor issues are starting to rise because there is unemployment's going to start going up and there's mass layoffs happening all over the nation. And so I think it's a good thing only because the labor pool now will humble. Prices will come back down. It'll stabilize this crazy market. And so in spite of people thinking, well, shoot, there's areas in Las Vegas where there's homes that have went down 35%, yes. Where there's been super high inflation, there's not enough economic growth and development in those areas to keep those markets affluent. But let me tell you guys something. I'm gonna give you guys a little piece of gold right here. And I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about my business model. I typically don't even talk to people about this business model because it's my business model. It's the business model that I use to buy land, build houses. And if you're in part of my inner circle and you're part of our buy land, build house program, I sit back and I teach you guys, I give you guys all the goodies, all the nuggets, explain to you guys exactly what to do, what not to do, and how to actually go out and facilitate stuff in this market. And so in any market is a good market if you know what you're doing. But what happens is mainstream media publicizes the worst of the worst because they want a reaction out of people. That's why you see all of our thumbnails, we're like, wow, you know, and it's like, wow, what's happening? But the reality is it's like, you're excited. You're like, you know what? We've been waiting for this. People get wealthy out of this. But subsector markets are still absolutely incredible. Let me give you guys an example. I'm going to give you some demographics here. Write these things down because this is gold. So a lot of times people sit back and they're looking at the demographic of entry market home buyers. And that, you're right. That is the market that is going to get hit across the board in Florida, in Las Vegas, Nevada, across the board, nationwide. Entry-level home buyers are going to get hit. Why is that? Because affluency in that market is just not up to par. A lot of them are first-time home buyers. Think about for those of you guys that are watching, you guys are more mature, a little bit older, in your 40s, 50s, 60s. Think about you getting into the workforce in your 20s. Okay, you get out of high school, you go to college or maybe not, and you get into the workforce. What are you working for? A lot of people, minimum wage, right? And so you go in, you're working for lower wages. Maybe if you're in sales, you're trying to figure it out, you're trying to become a professional of your trade. You're still living subpar. You get a little apartment, you humble yourself to rent. I remember my first apartment was $400 a month. Those days are gone. But maybe it's $1,000 a month. Okay, what does a kid do to make $1,000 a month, plus groceries, plus electrical, plus utilities? Then they sit back, maybe they get a job, they're making $4,000 a month, and they go in and they buy this home. And this home now is starting to eat at them because of high interest rates, inflation. They pay too much for it. They have utilities to pay, maintenance to pay, and they're trying to buy a car. They're trying to live, eat food, and even have a little bit of entertainment and a life, right? And so that market gets hit hard. People that are less affluent, people that just never really hit that real trade professional, you know, you see them, you know, people that never really were able to go out and have a profession that offered them good retirement benefits, like government paid employees and stuff, if you call that good, I guess, right? But people that didn't have any affluency. And then in their golden years, they're working at the Golden Arches, right? They're working at McDonald's, the Golden Arches. And it's because they didn't have the affluency they once thought they were gonna have. Now, do you think, in all honesty, that the greeters at Walmart are there because they wanna be there or because financially they have to be there? No, they're there because they have to be there. Because think about it. Do you want your grandparents sitting over at Walmart. In some of them are like, I've seen them in these little walkers, and that they turn them around and they have little wheels on them, and then they sit down because they can't even stand. These people are so old, and they're there all day greeting people. And for some of them, I can say that yes, it's probably healthy, but for a lot of them, it's not. They need to be enjoying their lives and doing things, but there's less affluency. Whole point being, okay, is that there's less affluency in those homes. And so if you hit the subsector markets, and I've talked about this to people that work with me in my inner circle, I say, look, don't worry about the mainstream markets, okay? Don't go out and start building and competing with D.R. Horton. Don't go out and start competing with Lennar Homes. Don't go out and start competing with Toll Brothers because those are mass builders building in volume, okay? So what I've always told people, and what we're telling you guys now, when you're looking at Las Vegas, the Las Vegas market crash, the Florida market crash, you have to look at subsector markets. There's a lot of money moving from up north in the Northeast, from New York, moving down. Look, Florida's doing great. Las Vegas still is doing good. Now, do I think that Las Vegas will probably be one of the states that gets hit the hardest over the course of time if there is a real explosion in this recessionary market? The answer is yes. I do think that Las Vegas does have the ability to get hit harder, because think about it. What do they thrive on? And you have to think about economics and think about how economics work, okay? It's not a tech hub. It's not one of the big tech industry hubs of the world, okay? So tech is driving things right now, right? It's not really like the renowned place for real estate in regards to subsector markets. Now you look at the casinos, and yes, that is what thrives Las Vegas. Now, what Las Vegas really ran on for the last decade is the new hockey team and the Raiders. Okay, so the hockey team and the Raiders, and how many people can those two things actually employ over the course of time? And so you sit back and you think about the growth of Las Vegas. There's not a lot of economic stimulation in Las Vegas. So yes, I do think over the course of time, it will get hit. Now, understand that when we talk about subsector markets, you got to look at what demographics have money. And when you think about the demographics that have money, think about your mom and dad, think about your grandparents, think about people that have worked a full career. And now after they've worked that full career of 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, even 50 years, they have affluency. Because think about it, if you get in a financial bind when you were younger, let's say you were in your 20s, you get yourself in some trouble when you're in college financially, who do you go to? For most of us, for 85% of the population, 85, now, with the exception of the other 15% of our population who don't have parents that either don't have any affluency, or they just don't have parents at all, the other 85% of our population really come from pretty stable homes, statistically. So for 85% of us that are watching this video right now, if you ever had like a financial a financial situation where you were distressed and you had to get yourself out of it, where did you go get money from? Typically your mom and dad, right? I know my parents had to bail me out of a couple of little things when I was in college, just because we don't make as wise of decisions as we would, because we're learning how to become adults. And so some of us don't have that luxury, but for the mass majority of people who do have that luxury, they go and ask the more affluent, their parents, the people who have been working, the people that have some affluency in their life. Now, that doesn't mean they're wealthy. That just means they have more affluency. So once you get out of that $300,000 to $400,000 range, and you get out of that, hey, you're welcome, bro. Appreciate you being here. So as soon as you get out of that $300 to $400 range, if you look at the market stats and you look at everything that's happening on the market stats when it comes to real estate, right now, the biggest sector of real estate that's getting hit is between the $300,000 and the $400,000 homes, because that's the median. But if you actually go in and you look at market stats based on Market Watch, over $450,000 all the way up to $800,000, it's a desirable class, and there's actually still a massive demand for houses over $450,000 and under $850,000 as a mean nationwide. So for some of you guys that are sitting back going, I want to sit back and I want to take advantage of this market, or you're sitting back scared going, oh my God, what do I do? Do I buy? Do I sell? Do I invest? What do I do? I'm telling you guys, get out of the $300,000, $400,000 range when it comes to like buying land and building houses or investing in a long-term hold, okay? You don't want to be investing in a long-term hold. What you want to do is, if you're going to invest in a long-term hold, just get right outside of that $400,000 range and get into the slightly more affluent area if you're going to hold long-term. Now, that's why we tell people, do not build houses unless you get over $450,000. And I really tell them, get over $500,000, because once you get over $500,000 on the sales price, then you really have profitability and you have protection because your demographics works. And so you have to look at the subsectors. We focus on servicing the demographics of empty nesters and retirees, and even the people of alternative lifestyles. Why? Because most of them don't have children, and the people that are empty nesters, they're not servicing the need of raising their kids anymore, and so they're downsizing. They want a smaller home, but they had a larger home. They're downsizing into a smaller home. So you have to look at subsectors, okay? Because that subsector right now is doing absolutely incredible. It's one of the strongest asset classes that's out there right now in the middle class. And so you have to separate the market sectors. Don't look at anything below 400,000. Stay above the $450,000 range, and your profitability goes up and the security of your investment goes up. Now, for you investors, flip side of this. For you investors, for you fix and flippers. I'm not a fix and flipper. I tell fix and flippers all day long. Stop fix and flipping, buy land, build houses, way more profitable, way less variables and simpler. And the profitability is substantially larger. But if you persist in wanting to do fix and flips, this will be the time to do it. Now, are there opportunities right this second? Yeah, there's opportunities right this second, but I'll tell you guys, do these home values above 450 work for the Burr model? So yeah, it's the buy, build, the BBRRR strategy. Buy land, build a house, then you rent it, then you refinance it, then you repeat the process. That's what the BBRRR strategy is. And that's what I teach. I teach you guys how to buy land, build a house, and retain equity. But I'll tell you guys, get outside of that $450,000 range. Now, if you're gonna buy, build, and hold for a long time and you're not thinking of selling right now, you could still go in and build something under that $450,000 range. But I'll tell you guys, you'll have more equity to do a cash out refinance if you go above it. So instead of building that $400,000 range, creep up into that $500,000 range, because then you'll have over $100,000 in equity in that house where you can go out and pull about $80,000 of cash out of it and still rent it. And because rent rates are so high right now, you're gonna have cash flow from the rent rates, higher rent rates than we've ever seen. You go out and rent that house for $3,000 a month and have a $1,700 a month mortgage on it, or even a $2,000 a month mortgage, you still cash flow at $1,000 a month. And then you can pull out $80,000, you go out and you repeat the process and you scale that model. Now, so what I always tell people is, look, how do I structure a land deal worth that much? Well, you got to come be a part of my inner circle. I'll run through all that. That's a whole loaded question. We teach a lot, all that and more, and it is part of our educational program on how to buy land and build houses. But real quick, so I could finish what I was talking about in the opportunity for those folks that are actually doing the burst strat. I mean, they're actually doing the flips. They're fixing and flipping homes. Okay, not my deal, but I'm going to tell you guys a little secret right now. So what's happening right now is there's going to be a little bit of blood in the water in that under $400,000 range. And so you investors that are looking at homes under that asset class, there will be some opportunity. I don't think it's going to be as long lived as you guys think it is, because banks are strong right now. And as long as banks are strong and creditors in credit of home buyers are strong and people are making those payments, it's not going to be like 2008, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody could get a mortgage in 2008. Now, today, there's parameters. The CFPB was put in place in 2009. And in 2009, when they put the CFPB in place, it's to regulate what the banks are doing. Okay, so it's a credit protection bureau for you guys, for the consumers, supposedly, right? But the only person that can manage and run and fire and get rid of the CFPB is the president himself. So in spite of the political standpoint behind that, understand that the sector that's going to get hit is going to be the lower end sector of people that are less affluent, because they don't have the ability to continue serving their debt. The reason why our business model works so well is because the desirable market right now that people are still seeking homes after and still can't find them are over that $500,000 range. And so for those of you guys exercising the BBRRR strategy, I would creep into that $500,000 range instead of going into that $400,000 range all day long. So when you guys hear that Las Vegas just had a 35 to 40% decrease in house prices, look at the subsector markets. Don't go into the areas that are less affluent. Go into Sunland Park areas and go into the north and southern part of those areas. Go into the areas that are more affluent within the subsector markets, and you'll clearly find that a lot of those more affluent markets are doing just fine. They're talking about this in Florida as well, PS, by the way. They're sitting back saying how bad Florida's going to take a beating. Well, if you go in areas that people are desirable, people are moving to, they're moving out of Miami to get more cost-effective living, but still paying a premium for real estate that makes sense. You go into like Port St. Lucie, you go just outside of St. Petersburg in Tampa, and you get just outside of Pensacola and just outside of these big city sectors where typically real estate is a little bit more expensive. You go out and you get a lot of home for your money. You get and you land up with more affluency in those areas. And so you have to get into the subsector markets that are really hitting the people that have money. And those people that still have money are people that have worked a career. Those people that are on the higher end of the economic spectrum that are still working their career, but they're the physicians in our market. They're the attorneys in our market. They're the entrepreneurs like you and I in our market that are actually making a living doing what we do. And I'm proud to say that I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years this year. I'm embarrassed to say that. 2003, 30 years. So should I buy land or buy? I'd buy land and build right now. Buying land and building houses right now is good. Now there's going to be an opportunity for some value add stuff, and there's going to be some opportunity for not only value add in commercial assets, but there's going to be a huge opportunity in some fix and flips as well. You'll see us picking up real estate. When you see me doing it, it's because the time is right. You're not seeing us do it right now because people go through what they go through when they're battling substance abuse, right? The first stage is denial. And right now we're in the denial phase. There's a ton of investors right now that are sitting back, and in 2 months, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking about this for over a year. The writing was on the wall, but a lot of people had been in denial for so long, they just sat back and thought that they were the king and the omni-gods of all of this market sector stuff that was going on, and that they were just kicking ass in real estate. And then all of a sudden, the last 2 months, it's in their face. So now it's pretty hard to be in denial, although it's right here. They're in a different type of denial. They were in a denial before saying it won't happen to me. Now they're sitting back going, oh my God, it's not happening to me. Please don't let it be happening to me. I know we're going to come out of this quick. Please let me take care of this. Let me go into some of this chat. Let's answer some of you guys' questions. Okay. Being a veteran, does this system work with a VA loan? Yes, you know what? It sure does. In fact, we just onboarded a new affiliate that we're working with that we'll have onboarded here by Monday as part of one of our team members, and we're white labeling their lending services. And one of the big sectors that they lend to is VA. And so a lot of government assisted loans. So yes, it does work with VAs. So in fact, you guys have first-time home buyers and veterans. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have an opportunity that most normal people don't have. So take advantage of it. Okay, take advantage of it. Because as a first-time home buyer, ladies and gentlemen, you can go in, and there's first-time home buyers programs where you can go in with 95% of the bank's money and only 5% down, and sometimes even less than that. And what's cool is you only have to live in that house for 1 year. So let's say, for example, you bought land, you built a house, and you stayed in it for a year, or you just bought land, built the house, and you rented it on short-term rental for a year, and you retained it. And then you go out, and a year later, you sell that house, and then you go out and you repeat that process, and now you can go do it again under the same exact banking criteria that you did the first time. And so for veterans and first-time home buyers, those opportunities are awesome, okay? Okay, let's go in. Let me see. I got out of that chat. Let's go back into it. Let me see here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's answer some of you guys' questions. Okay. I've been following all of your steps, found the land, found the architect. The land has been developed. Just debating, should I wait a year and see if I find deals, or if builders' costs are going down? They're starting to go down already, guys. We're living this. The house I'm building now, we overpaid for lumber, we overpaid for electric, we overpaid for everything. I'll probably make about $50,000 less than I normally would in a house, and it's okay because no one's feeling sorry for me. We were going to make about $210,000. We'll probably make about $160,000. So yeah, we overpaid for stuff, but we're still going to make some good profit. And we're doing several of them at the same time. Now, Jay, one of the big things is that right now, like yesterday, I called one of the land brokers where we have an offer in on a piece of land for one of our students. And I took the initiative to just call the broker myself. And because I underwrote the deal on one of our calls. And then I go, man, I want them to make more money. So I called the broker and I said, hey, look, Mr. Broker, I said, we tied up this land. It's a 135. I said, we have some real concerns, and we just leveraged the media. I go, look, we don't know what the market's going to do. We're really concerned about this market. We're really concerned about inflation. Housing prices are starting to drop, and we just sulked it. I sulked it with him. And he goes, well, what are you looking for? And I said, reduction on the price of the land. And he goes, well, how much? And I said, like 15 grand. And he goes, done. And that was that easy. And so right now is the time to sulk and cry a little bit and get your prices down. You can negotiate great prices right now, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about the prices. Where you're going to make your variables on the decrease in the market values is in your land. Okay, but the variable is you. Are you a negotiator? Are you a badass? Or do you not know how to negotiate? If you know how to negotiate, the times are good. The times are good, ladies and gentlemen. You got to learn how to negotiate. It's a must. Cole, what's up, Cole? So you mentioned doing fix and flips. When will you get, sorry, this thing fades on me if I don't keep my thumb on it. When will you get into that? It sounds like you just said you will. Are you waiting for distressed opportunities? I'll never do fix and flips on single family homes. You will never, ever see me in that market sector. I hate that market sector. I will never do it. If you're in it, God bless you. It's not my deal. When I say I'm looking at existing assets, I'm doing value add stuff. I'm doing apartments. I'm doing distressed. I'm repositioning office, retail, stuff like that. Because anytime a market sector gets abused financially and it's financially distressed, there's opportunity. Where there's blood in the water, there's opportunities, ladies and gentlemen. I don't like the residential fix and flip market. There's too many variables. The red tape is too high. It takes just as long as it does. People say it doesn't, but it takes every fix and flip I ever did back pre-recession of 2008 took me just as damn long as it did to build a regular house. To me, the model just didn't make sense. The only reason people won't build a house is because they don't know the process. They're intimidated by the process. They don't understand the value behind building the house. And no builder is going to sit there and sell you upon doing it other than me. And so that's why you'll never see me do a fix and flip, because I build, man. I know how to do it and I can do it fast. You guys see that build I have going up right now that I'm documenting the process step by step? Ladies and gentlemen, I landed up picking up that land in January. I'm doing it. I don't even have a superintendent anymore because we're doing these big multi-million-dollar apartment complexes. And I have that sucker coming out of the ground. And it's taken me just a few months to get that sucker finished. We're almost done with it. And I'm dragging my feet, and I'm doing 2 at a time. And we picked up the land in late January, and that thing's already finished almost. We're doing tile and trim out now on it. And we have another one going up right behind it. So anyways, fix and flip, not my deal. I don't encourage you guys to do it. If you want to do it, that's up to you. Building is so much more profitable, so much less stressful, okay? Even in the market. Now, for those of you guys who like that market sector and you guys are going to do it to hold, it's a good market sector. You'll do well with it doing Airbnb and short-term rentals and some of the long-term rental strategies. Let's see what Richter. What's up, Richter? Hi, Jerome. Mark Richter here. Good seeing you. Yeah, you too, Mark. You too, Mark. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, always, man. And Mark, I think we finally got that the multiple tickets for Red dialed in for you as well too. We did that through Eventbrite, so my team should be. In fact, I need to tell them to send that out to you. So we will be sending that out to you, Mark. Okay, what do you think about the Airbnbs? Yeah, they're good. It's semi-passive. I think everybody should own stuff like that. I don't. We're going to keep some of the properties that we're building up in Desert Hot Springs right now. And so the stuff that we're building in Desert Hot Springs, my wife wants to keep them and dibble dabble and have some fun with them, doing some short-term rentals. So we'll do that with them. And she'll kind of run them and play with them and have fun with them and keep the money on them. And we'll do that. But Airbnbs are good, man. They're semi-passive. I'm into big multifamily. I think the only reason you'll do Airbnb is because you can't get into the big multifamily sector, or at least you think you can't. I think you can. The big multifamily sector is almost completely passive. And so I can have all my 200 unit, 150 units, 100 unit apartment complexes, and I can go see Mark Richter in the gym in the middle of the day, like I see him in there every now and then, because Mark's in real estate developing, I'm in real estate developing, and in the middle of the day, where everybody else is working, we're in the gym working out. And so it's fully passive. I go to my properties twice a year, if that. And I audit paper every month. But the Airbnb properties, they're semi-passive. They're a great business model, you know. Take advantage of them. Rough Truth, thank you. Series on building my own. Cole, do you believe there's a lower barrier of entry in buying existing homes than there is buying land and building houses? Well, you have pre-existing assets, so the bank has something to collateralize, right? But if you understand the process of building houses, it's simple. You know, it's just that most people don't understand the process. I remember going through a lawsuit a couple years back, and the guy that was their expert witness, the judge asked him, do you build spec homes? He said no, and he asked him, why not? And he goes, I can't afford to. And I sat there, I remember that day in court, I was going, damn, this guy owns one of the largest home renovation companies in town. And you know, if I said the name, for those of you guys from Albuquerque, you know the company, for sure. And I sat back, because I always thought, I was like, man, that guy has a great company, man. His trucks are everywhere, his office is beautiful, can't afford to do spec homes. It's a misconception. He doesn't know how to do spec homes. He doesn't know how to get loans. He just doesn't understand how money works. You don't understand how the banking systems work. You don't understand what they're looking for. What they're looking for is they're looking for entitlements. They're looking for plans. They're looking for something they can appraise. They can't appraise something they can't see. So you have to give them something they can see, and it's all in the entitlements. It's all in the prints. And so if you can go out and you just get prints put together and you control the land that it's going to go on, I didn't say buy the land, you control the land. There's a way you control that land, and there's ways to purchase that land where you control it without buying it until you can close on your bank loan and then do it simultaneously where the bank funds the land for you, and then they also fund the construction loan. So for me, I never use construction loans because I've always built cash. I've been lucky in that regards because we've always had a cash flowing business that's done extremely well. But we teach people how to do it, and our students are doing it all over the country in all 50 states, and we have affiliates that allow them to be able to do so because of what we're able to give to them. Okay, let me see. Let me go back in here. Okay, so to me, buying land, building houses is the only way to go. Okay, Kevin, how does your program work? Do you hold our hand? No, bro, I'm not gonna hold your hand through the land acquisition. No, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing you. Kevin, we don't hold your hand. You know, I go by the old parable. Feed a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach a man to fish, baby, I'll feed you for a lifetime. You get that, Kevin? You want to be able to be fed for a lifetime. You don't want me to hold your hand. We'll teach you the ins and outs. I got 128 hours, more content that you're going to want to listen to, but once you start listening to it, you're going to get addicted. And then you get me twice a week where I go in, I look at your deals, I help you with your deals. And yeah, we do a little hand holding to the such, but we make you go do it. And I'll hard press you guys. I'll be busting your balls, Kevin. I will be busting your balls, you know, to make sure that you're out there making it happen. Okay, that's my job. So I'll give you a little hard love. If you're okay and you can take it, you'll make some money. Okay, and the biggest problem is because people are scared, and I understand you're scared. So the reason I'll bust your balls is to make you successful. If you're okay with that, then come to our program. If you're not, don't. You know, I'm just real, and I'll help you guys I'll push you through. Oh boy, that's a game changer. Yeah, Cole. It is a game changer. Cole, there's so much stuff most people don't know about banks and money. Okay, how do we learn that? And how much is your course? So let me ask you this question. When people ask me how much my course, let me ask you this. How much would it be worth to you if in 1 year from now, you knew you were going to make over $100,000 net profit going through my course? Would it be worth 100 grand? Would it be worth 50 grand? Would it be worth 20 grand? That's my question to you. What would it be worth to you? If you knew for sure that in a year you were going to make 100 grand building a house and that was going to be your net profit, and now you own the information and you can do it redundantly for the rest of your life, how much would that be worth to you? Euro? 20 grand, 50 grand, 10 grand, 5 cents? How much would that be worth to you? And then I'll tell you how much my course is. Euro's not answering me. I guess it's not worth much to him. So just set up a call. Go and talk to my team. It doesn't cost you 20 grand. It's way less than that. It's too inexpensive. Think about how much a college education costs, and you don't even go make 6 figures. Most people go into college. So if I charged you 10 grand to be a part of my program, would it be worth it if you were gonna make 100 grand this year? You know, you take 1 semester of college, you're paying more than $10,000, and then you're gonna go get a job at Applebee's waiting tables because you make more waiting tables at Applebee's than you do with your college degree that you're $200,000 in debt on. So it's all relative. Okay, but it's just a few grand. Okay, Cole McDaniel. I love to build for fourplexes. Yeah, fourplexes are good, man. They're a great place to start and a great place to exit once you learn what you're doing. Okay, great place to start though, Cole. Don't let me bust your balls too much because I'm telling you, I started there, man. I was there for a long time, a long, long time. Okay, maybe 2,400, maybe 600 square feet. I've got to figure it out where to get started. Yeah, just come into our earlier program, guys. We have hundreds of people a part of our program. I think we had over 15 people start just in the last 48 hours. We have hundreds of people in our program now. Okay, he thinks if we have no money, no credit, so where do we do it? But I believe we can. We can. Yeah, you can, Devin. You can. I got started with a 470 credit score back in 1998, and I did it. And so we have affiliates. We'll introduce you to companies like Lexington Law, help you fix your credit. I have different affiliates that'll help you guys get some hard money or bridge loan money. We'll help teach you guys how to raise private capital. There is a barrier to entry, Devin, working with us, and I'll tell you guys that you'll end up giving up some equity on your first couple builds, but after the course of doing it, once, twice, 3 times, you'll be able to retain 100% of your revenue. Again, you know, depends where you're at. So everybody's at a different spot. Isaac, what's up, bro? Haven't seen you in a long time, man. Do you do any private money lending, note buying, or real estate contracts, type investing? I am interested in your option on that as a passive investment strategy. We only raise capital for our big multifamily apartment deals right now. So I don't do much lending to my own capital. We'll help out some people. We'll teach you guys how to go out and raise capital and stuff and work with other people. There's people that specialize in lending money, and we have a ton of them. We'll teach you guys how to get involved with some of those people. I have no money, but I want to learn. Good, you're at a good place to get started. Inner circle in the house, that's right. I work here in Arizona. We have big projects in Arizona. I got a $70 million apartment complex. It's about to come out of the ground over on West Camelback and 41st Street, right down the road from GCU. When you see that baby pop out of the ground, that's my project. Okay, 201 doors. And then I have another 104 doors that we're gonna be finishing up here the first quarter of 2021 over in a little municipality called Youngtown, right in the Phoenix metro area. My first lot now. Thanks, Jerome. You're welcome, man. What's up, Jerome? You're the man. Might be only 7 weeks down in Florida. Sam, bro, I'm excited for you, man. I'm super excited for you. See, I got some of my inner circle members in here sneaking in here, giving me a little props out. I love these guys. These guys are all, I have so many people all over the country now that are building homes and making profits. I'm hyped, man. I'm super excited for them. I got one guy that'll hit millionaire status this year because of our influence. How many people have you guys made into millionaires? That's my question to you guys. And so, look, guys, today I was really wanting to get in here and talk about the market trends that's happening in Las Vegas, Nevada. The market trends are happening in Florida. And I'm just kind of share with you a little bit more about what we're doing. Look at sub-market trends. You know, go back to the beginning of this video, pound and hit, hashtag repeat. When you read, the beginning of this video is all about how the market crash is being perceived or not perceived and what the reality of that really is, and in big market sectors and in sector markets. But before you guys leave, do me one favor. Pound that thumbs up button, pound that subscribe button for more content just like that. That way you're notified anytime we go live or we have new content just like this coming out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. You guys have yourselves a great night. I love you all. God bless you. And we'll see you next week on our Real Talk on Real Estate.